Kukunting panahon na lang na iwan. So, walang, walang, walang ganang, wala nang ganang kumain. May pera ka naman, hindi ka na makakain. Kaya sabi ng doktor, huwag kang kumain ng taba kasi mamatay ka. Ikaw, Duterte, huwag ka nang uminom kasi yung barit mo nearing stage 1 ka sa cancer. So, hindi na bebot yung paa. Ewan ko kung puputulin yan o hindi. Pero
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan sa buong mundo. Kung saan man kayo naroroon, welcome po sa ating munting channel. At para po sa kaalaman ng mga nakakadaan dito, ang ating mga subjects ay patungkol po sa innovations, sa health at ganun din sa entrepreneur at ganun din naman sa mga trending na mga issues na kumakalat sa kasalukuyan. At kung ngayon ka lang nakabisita sa ating channel na ito, huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe at i-click ang bell upang maging updated kayo sa ating mga upload na mga videos.
Ibinunyag ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte na malapit na maging stage 1 cancer ang kanyang Barrett's esophagus. Ang Barrett's esophagus ayon sa Mayo Clinic ay karaniwang iniuugnay sa mataas na tsansa ng esophageal cancer. Ayon sa Pangulo, pinayuhan na siya ng kanyang mga doktor na iwasan na ang pag-inom ng alak. Makailang beses nang inamin ni Pangulong Duterte na mahilig siyang uminom ng brandy noong kanyang kabataan.
ikaw, Duterte, huwag ka nang uminom kasi yung barit mo nearing stage 1 ka sa cancer.
Bukod sa pag-inom, pinagbawalan na rin ngayon ng mga doktor si Pangulong Duterte na kumain ng mga pagkain na matataba.
Tagal na kami sa gobyerno, magpa-retire na lang. Bakit pa namin pagsayangan? Kukunting panahon na lang na iwan. So, walang, walang ganang, wala nang ganang kumain. May pera ka naman, hindi ka na makakain. Kaya sabi ng doktor, huwag kang kumain ng taba kasi mamatay ka.
October 2018 nang aminin ni Pangulong Duterte na nagtungo siya sa Cardinal Santos Medical Center sa San Juan para magpatingin sa kanyang Barrett's esophagus dahil hindi na umano maganda ang lagay nito. Sumailalim din ang Pangulo sa endoscopy at colonoscopy. Base sa resulta ng pagsusuri noon, hindi cancer ang sakit ng Pangulo. Inamin din ng Pangulo na nakararanas siya ng sakit na chronic neuromuscular disorder na myasthenia gravis dahilan para bumagsak ang talukap ng kanyang mata. Mayroon ding migraine ang Pangulo dahil sa aksidente sa motorsiklo at Berger's disease dahil sa paninigarilyo. Ilang sektor at individual na rin ang nanawagan na isapubliko na ang tunay na kalagayan ng kalusugan ni Pangulong Duterte. Nakasaad sa Section 12, Article 7 ng 1987 Constitution na kinakailangan na ipaalam sa publiko ang lagay ng kalusugan ng Pangulo ng Bansa kung mayroon itong seryosong karamdaman. Pero ayon kay Presidential Spokesman Harry Roque, walang dapat na ikabahala ang publiko dahil maayos naman ang lagay ng kalusugan ni Pangulong Duterte.
Ang cancer po ay napaka-tridor na sakit. Mayroon na po tayong mga nakalipas na mga malalaking leader ng ating bansa, tulad ng nakaraan nating President Aquino ay namatay din siya sa cancer, sa colon cancer. At mayroon din tayong senador na namatay din sa cancer, si Madam Senator Miriam. At kaya hindi po natin isang tabi ang magka may cancer po ang isang tao. Kaya unang-una, mayroon po tayong formula dito. Ayon po sa aking mga research at in-apply ko na rin sa aking pamilya dahil kami rin ay mga masakitin din kami nung nakalipas na panahon. Ang aking asawa ay mayroong HEPA B at siya ay anemic at namamaga ang kanyang paa. At ang aking mga anak noon nung maliit pa, ang aking bunso ay laging nagkakasakit at nagsusuka, lagi hanggang namamayat na. At ang aking babae naman ay laging nilalagnat. Every month mayroon niyang lagnat. Nagkakasakit lagi. At nagre-research ako paano maging malusog ang isang tao. So, nung natuklasan ko ang formula, ito ay sinusunod ko sa aking sarili, sa aming pamilya, at ngayon, awa ng Diyos, kami ay puro malusog. At ito po ang unang formula. Tama yung sabi ng doktor, iwasan. Mayroon tayong disiplina ang number 1. Yung disiplina ang una sa kalusugan. Yung sinasabing iwasan, ang iwasan talaga natin yung mga taba. Okay. Yung sa akin, hindi ako kumakain ng baboy. Kasi unang-una, pag-iwas nga sa taba. Kasi yung taba na yan, number 1 yan, kita po natin yung taba na yan, ay kapag kumapit yan, kahit sa plato, hindi yan basta-basta matanggal kung hindi mo sabinan maigi. So yan, number 1, yung taba. Pangalawa, yung asukal. Yung asukal na yan, malalaman nga natin kapag may diferensya ang ating ngipin, pag kumain tayo ng matamis, ay sasakit kagad yan. So yan ay proof na ang asukal ay napakatindi rin yan. So, yun ang mga iiwasan natin. At ang gamot po dyan ay, lalo na sa cancer na yan, ay hindi po talaga makakagaling ang drugs dyan. Wala pang, kaya nga as nabanggit po natin yung mga ating matataas na opisyal, namatay sila. Kasi kung nakakagaling po ang drugs, ay gumaling na sila. Yan ang proof dyan. Pero wala pang proof na may drugs na nakagaling. Ang nakakagaling po ay mga halamang gamot. Herbal po nakakagaling kasi pagkain. Ang drugs po ay hindi nakakagaling kasi kapag araw-araw mo ito iinumin yung drugs na yan, mabubulok. Mga organs natin sa kaloob ng ating katawan ay mga mabubulok yan. Lalo po tayong mamamatay. Kaya ang formula dyan, una yung disiplinang pag-iwas, pangalawa yung paggamit po ng mga herbal, mga halamang gamot. Yan po ang mga makakagaling sa atin. So, mayroon pong iba-ibang mga halaman na napakagaling at tinatawag sa mga Chinese medicine, mayroon pong mga magagaling na mga gamot na pag-aralan na po yan. Kaya ang isusunod po natin na video, isa pong cancer patients na gumaling po siya sa pamagitan po ng paggamit ng halamang gamot.
Good morning to everyone. I'm Cathy Beldia po. I'm 23 years old. Isa po akong dentista. Currently working sa Dentista Inc. Incorporated sa Alabang Town Center. Pinakilala niya sa akin, una yung toothpaste nilang product. So, naging interested ako kasi toothpaste nga. Kasi nga, isa akong dentista. So, naging interested ako dun sa product. Then, inano niya din sa akin yung supplements na yung RGGL, which is ito yun, Rishigano, at saka yung Ganusilium. Una kasi, nung time na yun, nagpapacheck up ako dahil may sakit ako sa kidney. Pero before that, hindi pa talaga ako totally na-diagnose na may sakit kasi nagtitake pa ako ng mga laboratory findings. So, ang tinry ko lang muna talaga is yung toothpaste. And then, lumabas na yung mga results ko. Na-diagnose ako December. Meron ako chronic kidney disease, which is nasa stage 5 na. So, ang sabi sa akin nung doctor ko that time, malubha na yung sakit ko, which is kailangan na nga ng transplant. So, that time na-shock talaga ako kasi hindi ko ina-expect na may sakit ako. So, yun. Masakit sa akin kasi bata pa nga ako, kag-graduate ko lang. Marami pa akong pangarap. And then, yung RGGL na binigay sa akin ni Marlene, tinry ko talaga yun. That time, in-advise na ako ng doctor ko na mag-treat ako having dialysis twice a week. So, last ko na check up is January 10 sa National Kidney Transplant Institute. That time, hindi na ako nilabas ng hospital kasi in-immediate dialysis na ako agad. Sa totoo lang, ayoko talaga magpa-dialysis that time kasi wala naman talaga akong nararamdaman sa katawan ko. Pero yung doctor ko kasi nag-insist talaga na i-immediate dialysis ako. So, ang nangyari, nilagyan ako ng fistula dito sa leeg, which is yung naging access ng dialysis. So, nag-decide na rin yung mother ko na gawin nga yung dialysis treatment. So, wala na akong nagawa. Pero, that time, nagtitake pa rin ako nung RGGL nga na galing sa DXN. Tapos, siguro naka 8 sessions ata ako from January 10 hanggang February 11. Tapos, every time na nagda-dialysis ako, marami akong nararamdaman na hindi naman talaga okay. Nag-hypotension ako, yung bumababa yung blood pressure ko. So, that time, napapagod ako sa dialysis. Tapos, traumatic sa akin yun kasi, syempre, nilalabas yung dugo mo, tapos ibabalik na naman sa'yo. So, sabi ko, ayoko na magpa-dialysis. Tapos, tinuloy-tuloy ko nga lang yung RGGL kahit nagda-dialysis ako. Tapos, nakikita ko yung result every time na nagpapa-laboratory ako, bumababa siya. So, nag-decide ako and my mother na alisin na yung fistula sa leeg ko kasi nahihirapan niya ako kumilos. Parang hindi normal yung buhay ko kapag may ganun ako sa leeg. Tapos, ini-schedule na rin niya ako for transplant that time kasi nga sabi, malala na daw talaga yung sakit ko sa kidney, so kailangan ng palitan kasi pwede ko nga daw ikamatay yun. Pero hindi ako, para kasi sa akin, parang sabi ko, isang test lang to sa buhay ko na kailangan kong lagpasan. So, nag-decide ako and yung mother ko, pati father ko, na patanggal ko na talaga yung fistula ko sa leeg. So, naghanap kami ng doctor na magtatanggal nun kasi nga, yung doctor ko ayaw magtanggal nun kasi once na tinanggal sa akin daw yun, pwede ko daw ikamatay yun kasi wala na mag-filter nung mga kinakain ko, wala nang magsasala. Kasi nga yung kidney ko is, may problem na nga. So, sabi ko, ayoko na talaga mag-dialysis. Itutuloy ko na lang yung RGGL kasi nakikita ko naman yung improvement dun sa laboratory results ko. So, yun, February 13, pinatanggal ko na talaga totally yung fistula ko. Hanggang ngayon, hindi ako nagda-dialysis. Nagtitake na lang ako ng RGGL, itong cordyceps, tsaka yung spirulina. So, etong 4 na to yung tinitake ko. Pati yung Rosel juice, nagtitake din ako niyan. Pati yung spikati, iniinom ko yun lahat. Kasi nakikita ko talaga na naglo-lower yung creatinine ko. Yung creatinine is that yun yung lason sa dugo na dapat nasasala yun ng kidney. Pero because nga may sakit ako sa kidney, hindi siya nasasala. So, tumataas siya. Pero every time na iniinom ko to lahat, itong mga supplements na to na galing sa DXN, nagkakaroon ng decrease doon sa creatinine. So, nakikita ko talaga yung effect nito sa akin, sa sakit ko, which means napagaling talaga ako ng mga product na to from DXN. So, yun. Yung mga nakakarinig nito sa akin, sa mga nanonood sa akin, huwag kayo mawalan ng pag-asa kasi may mga product na ganito na nakakatulong na magpagaling sa kung anumang karamdaman na meron kayo. Tulad sa akin, sinabihan na nga ako na baka hindi na nga ako tumagal kapag tinigil ko yung dialysis ko at saka hindi ako matransplant. Pero hindi ako naniwala. Nagtiwala ako sa taas tsaka sa mga produktong to. Kaya yun, lahat kayo dyan na nanonood, nakikinig sa akin, try nyo to. Magtiwala lang kayo sa product nyo na to dahil makakatulong sa inyo to ng sobra-sobra. Hindi lang sa hindi lang sa katawan ninyo, hindi lang sa health niyo, kundi sa buong buhay niyo at sa buong pamilya niyo.
Maliwanag po doon sa video na ang babae na yon ay nagkakaroon siya ng stage 5 cancer. Kapag stage 5 ka na, wala ka nang chance doon na mabuhay pa. Ang kidney cancer, dalawang approach niyan ang ginagawa sa doktor. Yung una, yung dialysis, at kung talagang matindi na, palit na, transplant na ng kidney. So nakita natin doon na kung gaano kahirap ang ini-express ng babae dahil nga doon sa kanyang dialysis at may nakalagay na pistola dito sa kanyang liig. So sinabayan niya ito ng pag-inom noong mga gamot na kanyang binanggit. Una-una yung RGGL, actually ano yan, Resigano at saka Ganocilium, yan yung ibig sabihin ng RGGL. At saka mayroon pa siyang sinabi na Rochelle, at saka Spirulina, at saka Cordyceps. At mayroon pa siyang hindi binanggit doon na kailangan din para sa taong may cancer, yung Morensi. Yun ay juice ng noni juice. So yan yung mga dapat inumin para maging epektibo. Sama-sama po ng mga halaman. Ito ay mga halamang gamot, kaya hindi po ito wala bang side effect ang ibig sabihin. Walang side effect. Hindi tulad ng mga drugs na kapag araw-arawin mo o kaya masubrahan ka ng pag-inom ng drug o drug medicine ay pwede mong ikamatay. Kaya hindi po ito kailangan ng prescription dahil ito ay mga pagkain, mga halaman. At nakita po natin doon na kanyang pinatigil dahil sa kanyang hirap ng kanyang sitwasyon, pinatigil niya ang kanyang dialysis. At hindi na rin siya natuloy kasi nirecommend talaga ng doktor yung transplant. Hindi na nangyari yung transplant dahil ayon sa schedule ng kanyang pag-check up ay nakikita doon na nag-improve ang kanyang level ng creatinine doon sa kanyang blood. So hanggang ito ay tumigil na nga siya pagda-dialysis at nakita po natin na gumaling siya. At kaya ang recommended niya para sa iba na may mga sakit, lalo na sa cancer, ay recommended niya yung mga binanggit niyang mga gamot. So ulitin ko po, unang-una yung RGGL, ang sinabi niya yung Rochelle, Cordyceps, at saka Spirulina, at dadagdagan ko pa yung Morensi juice. So masasabi natin na 80 to 90% nakakagaling po. Hindi po natin masabing 100% kasi mamaya yung tao ay talagang mahina na po, mayroon pang malubha siyang ibang sakit at hindi na po nahabol yung kanyang sitwasyon. Pero kaya sasabihin po natin 80 to 90% gagaling po. Ngayon dadagdag pa tayo ng ibang video para masasabi natin na hindi lang isa, para mayroon pang patunay. Tingnan po natin ang susunod na video.
Over 700 medical studies sustaining these benefits. Not only are average people benefiting from the power of Ganoderma Lucidum, even trusted medical professionals like Dr. Watts are challenging the traditional ways they approach medical treatment of their patients by prescribing Gano-Luciderma.
My initial thoughts about the natural herb Ganoderma Lucidum, I thought it was a joke. The biggest surprise for me when I tried Gano myself was I started believing in natural herbal medicine. There was a drastic shift in my thinking in medicine. The results that I witnessed in a patient that I did start it on was a 12-year-old girl who I had previously 6 months before diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, which is meaning that she's having to use insulin on a daily basis, several times a day. After 4 months of continuing with the supplement, with the Ganoderma Lucidum, this patient went from a type 1 diabetic, which is injecting herself on a daily basis with insulin, to actually a type 2 diabetic, in which her diabetes is controlled by medication, by oral medications. It's unheard of for a type 1 diabetic to go to a type 2 diabetic in just that short time frame. I mean, it's unheard of, period.
For more than 5 years, because my old doctor never told me that I was diabetic, and as a result of which my left foot, I developed what is called neuropathy. And neuropathy is the hardening of the veins. My left foot became twice the size of my right foot. The color was reddish violet. I was in constant pain. I couldn't put my shoes, and most of the time I had to use my cane. A friend of mine by the name of Rick DeLuca, who is connected with Ganoderma, saw me one day, and he told me about Ganoderma and offered me, as a matter of fact, he gave me a box of oatmeals. I went to my doctor and told her about this, and she told me not to believe it because as far as she was concerned, she didn't believe in anything that was herbal. But because I was in constant pain, I decided to try it anyway. So lo and behold, after a month and a half, I noticed that my foot started getting better. I had to go and see my doctor again because I do my regular blood test. And she asked me, she says, what have you been doing? I said, why, doctor? He says, well, how come your sugar has gone down and all your other organs, there's been a tremendous improvement? I said, I haven't done anything except that I've been taking the oatmeal that you told me not to take. And she says, oh, is that so? Well, he says, I'd like to do a more extensive test. I want you to continue taking, at this time he says, I want you to continue taking this, and I want to give you an extensive test after two months. And I want to find out if there's been, your other organs have been affected by this. But to make a long story short, after 2 months, which was just about a month and a half ago, I got my test, and the report said that everything, my sugar from 180, 190, it was down to 106. My liver has been improved. All my organs were perfect, and she was amazed. And my left foot is the same size as my right foot. I'm no longer, the color of my left foot is normal. I can use shoes. I have a lot of energy. I also had what they called the liver spots on my hand. These were spots that usually old people have. Remember, I'm 86 years old. They're all gone, completely gone. My skin has improved. I have color. Another thing, and people tease me about this, my hair's gotten darker.
Hi, my name is Dexter. Before I started taking Gano, I was a physical wreck. I was involved in 2 major accidents, one in 1974 and one in 1987. The first one required surgery to remove L4 and 5, 2 herniated discs. In 1987, I was rear-ended, herniated C3, and after going to the Cleveland Clinic and seeing one of the top neurosurgeons in the country, it was determined that it was inoperable and there was nothing they could do to alleviate the pain. And they told me I should just live with it, try to manage the pain. So ever since 1974, I've been trying to manage the pain in my back. It's been a deteriorating condition. In 2002, I found out that I also had type 2 diabetes. When they found out that I had that, glucose level was 305 when they tested. I also had high blood pressure. And so they began treating me for the diabetes and the high blood pressure. And it was later discovered that I had congestive heart failure and arrhythmia. I had a pacemaker put in 2005. And the doctors also thought that I might need an angiogram because I had tremendous chest pains. I couldn't go more than a half a block without stopping to rest for 5 or 10 minutes before I could go further. I used a cane 99% of the time, and and the other part of the time I had to use a walker just to get from one place to another. The doctors wanted to do an angiogram, but they found out that my liver and my kidney function was so bad, they said that if they injected the dye to do the angiogram, it would completely kill my kidneys, and I'd wind up on dialysis the rest of my life. So obviously I didn't do that procedure. I've suffered with pain and this chronic condition for years. In December of 2008, I was living in Texas, had been for about 4 years, and because of my condition, I decided to move back to Indiana where my family and friends were, because I thought two things were going to happen. One is that I'd be confined to a wheelchair, or the other thing is I would literally die. I didn't expect to be here today, as a matter of fact. And in August, my son had heard that I was taking a lot of oxycodone. That was the pain medication I was on, and I'd take between 20 and sometimes 80 milligrams of oxycodone in a day. He said that amount of oxycodone would kill me. But I told him I had to have something to manage the pain. I couldn't exist the way I was going without some kind of a pain medication. Well, he had been that Gano would probably help alleviate some of the pain. Now, I couldn't figure out how reishi mushroom or any kind of mushroom would do anything to make me feel any better, but after a couple of months he bugged me until I finally said, okay, look, I'll buy the stuff, I'll try it. And I did. And after the first cup, a couple of cups that I took, the first day that I drank the Gano, I noticed that I was more focused, alert, and had more energy. So I took it the next day and the next day, and after the third day, I noticed that I didn't feel the pain that I had felt before. As a matter of fact, I decided I'm not going to take any pain medication today and see what happens. And I went through the whole day without taking one pain pill, which, you know, was a first. I've been taking pain pills since 1974. That's the only way I could exist. And so I didn't take one single pain pill. And about 10:30, 11 o'clock, I decided I needed to go to bed. I hadn't slept in a bed for like 5 years. I couldn't lay down. It killed me to lay down. I was in more pain laying down than sitting up, so I used to sleep in a recliner, if you could call it sleep. I'd doze off periodically. I'd be up and down out of there all night long, but at least that's how I got my rest. But I tried. I said, I'm going to try, see what happens. And I laid down, and to my surprise, it didn't bother me. And I slept through the night. And I woke up the next morning, and I felt great. I never took another pain pill since that day. I haven't taken one pain pill. I haven't taken a muscle relaxer. I haven't taken a nerve medication. And I feel better right now than I have in the last 10 years.
Maliwanag doon sa video, ng una, yung nagsalita doon ay ang doktor na sabi niya sa kanyang experience, nagulat siya na paano naging yung type 1 na diabetes, na-convert ka agad ng type 2 diabetes na within few months lang. Nagugulat siya. Kaya namangha siya at talagang doon siya naniwala na ang itong Ganoderma ay may kakaibang kakayanan. At nakita din natin doon sa isang taong may sakit din, diabetic, malaki ang kanyang paa, sabi niya. Hindi nga niya malagyan ng sapatos, ngunit sa paggamit niya ng ilang araw lang, noong ginamit niyang Ganoderma, ay nagulat din ang kanilang doktor. Sabi ng doktor, ano bang ginamit mo? Okay, yung sabi niya, Ganoderma lang naman. So, Kaya patuloy niya ang kanyang papacheck up, pati ang doktor. Sabi niya, okay, tuloy mo lang ang ginagamit mo. So yun, nakadalawa. At pangatlo, itong isang tao na nagkakaroon ng aksidente, car accident, kaya ang dami niyang mga sakit. Mayroon siyang heart failure, diabetes, mayroon siyang arrhythmia, ang kanyang liver at saka kidney, may diferensya, hindi makalakad at hindi nga makahiga ng maayos, sobrang sakit. At umiinom siya ng gamot na napakarami dahil kung hindi siya makainom ng mga gamot, hindi na siya makatulog. For how many years? At ngayon, nung sinubukan niya itong Ganoderma na yun, within just few days lang, 3 araw lang, nagulat siya dahil kayang-kaya niya ng lumakad sa gagamit ng tungkod at naiyak na siya. For how many years? For 10 years nang inom ng gamot ngayon, sinubukan niyang Ganoderma lang pala ang solusyon at nakapahinga, nakatulog siya ng napakahimbing. So hindi lang yan ilan, mayroon pang mga rami pa. So yan lamang ay patunay natin na makapangyarihan, mayroong kakaibang galing ang itong halamang gamot. Number 1 nga kasi nga itong Ganoderma na ito, tinatawag na ito sa Chinese medicine na King of Herbs. At tuloy pa natin ang ating mga video kahit mahaba ito dahil atin pong i-prove talaga na ito ay doon sa mga tao na gusto humaba ang buhay para makatulong po tayo, lalo na sa ngayon na ang bali-balita ng ating Pangulo ay mayroong sakit at ipaparating natin ito sa kanya sa kung anumang paraan, kung sa pamagitan man kay Senator Bongo, para kung ano man ang nangyari doon sa mga ibang mataas natin na opisyal ay sana man ay makakabigay tayo ng kahit kaunting tulong na ganitong paraan ang informasyon. So dagdagan pa natin ang ating mga patunay sa video na ito.
Grew up in Kuala Lumpur since I was 19. Okay, I was grad from political science in University Malaya. I studied until right now. I'm a personal trainer. Yeah, as a professional. Yeah, thank you very much. All right, but yeah, I might be look healthy. All right, so because people assume that actually my external looks very clean, but internal section. This is what I'm trying to share with Williams and Madam Jane itself. Actually.
Yes, when you came to me, you seem pretty healthy because I seek personal training from you.
Yeah.
And up to the point then you told me that you weren't that healthy.
Yes.
So I was wondering that how did you feel at the time? Because
looking for easy target. Well, they knew that actually I'm having a problem. Said, hey, you're coming to me. You want to make money out of me. I just said, actually, is it that Madam Jane? I tried, William. I tried quite a number of products. People are pushing me thousands, 2,000. I don't know. I got lots of money having, but my condition is and it's getting worse and worse. So another product coming in. I said, enough is enough. So that's what I was telling myself. Yes. But there was a moment actually when I was visiting a friend in hospitals, and while waiting for him having a surgery, I was bumped into one lady, a very good Samaritan, sitting next to me, was telling me, and then I was telling her, actually, I'm having this problem. She was telling me a miracle of stories about the product, but which is, I don't think, no, there's nothing can help me anymore. Because I believe that's actually, hey, I'm going to end my life. So, let me be basic. I just want to stay, just want to go in peace. Don't disturb me. But that nothing was so good. He was saying that actually, try.
yes.
No, I said, okay, because I found she's an old lady and I don't want to hurt her feeling. I said, okay. And, you know, my friend was bringing me the product to me. Actually, I was really trying to think. It takes me, I said, 1.5 months to finish 1 gel. It's a powder gel, you know.
This is
the one, yeah.
Yes,
exactly, this is the one. All right. And then she was telling me to take this much, and I took it. Although I'll do it reluctantly, actually, I'm still doing it. And another supply coming in, I took it. But right after that, I feel that there's a difference in my body. It's something like, you know, if you go to a house, it's actually when the last power supply, but suddenly you feel that it's like this, a new fuse came in, that you feel that something triggered the body, that you felt that I can feel I'm much more energetic. I can handle 2 classes rather than 1 before at the time. And I was wondering, what was that? So on the 3rd month itself, I remembered that actually, and I called my friends actually, could you give me another one? That's how it started. So then from there, actually, I ordered, on the 6th month itself, I went for, normally because I keep doing monthly blood transfusions.
Yes.
All right. On the 6th month itself, that's something that I could never have imagined actually. The doctor was saying this actually, it's surprising. Your white cells have gone down to 70. What are you doing? I said I'm doing healthy lifestyles. I took care of my diet properly, and I took what Chinese call Lindsay, or they call it DXN. You know what the doctor said? You know what the doctor told me?
Yes.
No matter what it is, whatever you take, go ahead, because there's nothing much we can do about. But if that Lindsay helps you, I tell you, go for it.
Yes, go for it.
Go ahead. And until now, actually, I'm still stacking it. I didn't say that it's actually this is a miracle product, but it does give me wonder.
Okay, doon sa video, nakita po natin yung isang tao na isang trainer ng gymnasium. Malusog siya, nakikita po natin. At ngunit, nag-diagnose siya ng leukemia. Siyempre, pag nagkaroon ka ng ganong sakit, mas matindi pa ito, mas mabilis ka pang mamatay rito kaysa sa may ordinaryong cancer. Dahil kapag leukemia, wala pang isang taon na mamamatay ka na ron. So, napakalungkot ang buhay niya. So, patuloy lang niya, pangsamantala, papunta siya sa doktor, papacheck doon, at mayroon siyang blood transfusion every month. At nagkataon na mayroon siyang nasalubong doon o nakausap doon na matandang babae. Sabi ng babae, subukan mo itong herbal na ito, baka makatulong sa'yo. Sabi naman niya, wag na lang po, kasi wag na po kayong mag-abala dahil ako ay mamamatay na, hayaan na lang po ako. Kasi wala namang pag-asa sa buhay ko. At itong babae, sabi niya, ay makulit. Sige lang, subukan mo lang, wala namang masama kung i-try mo to. Out of respect, sabi niya, kaya baka daw masaktan yung babae, ma-hurt yung babae dahil matanda na, ay tinanggap niya at okay, tinay niya itong binigay, itong ang Ganoderma na ito. At nagtaka siya doon na nung naubos niya ang isang bote, naramdaman niya ang kakaibang feeling. Parang naging energetic daw siya at basta masarap daw ang pakiramdam. At doon sa doktor naman, nagulat ang doktor niya dahil nag-improve yung kanyang level ng kanyang quality ng kanyang dugo dahil nga leukemia. Yung pag-check ay nag-improve ito. Ang sinabi niya, ano bang ginagawa ba? Paanong nangyari ito na nag-improve ito? Sabi naman niya, siyempre, normal lang naman na pag-take care ng aking sarili sa aking katawan at mayroon akong iniinom na Ganoderma. At nung narinig ng doktor, oh, ganun ba? Okay, kung ano man yung iniinom mo, ituloy mo kasi wala naman akong problema kung anong iinumin mo. Basta kung yan ay nakatulong sa'yo, na nag-improve ito, sige, ituloy mo yan. So, na parang ang doktor ay nagulat dahil siyempre alam naman niya na hindi na magtatagal ang taong may leukemia at siguro sa experience niyang ganito ay namangha ang doktor. At ayon sa kanya, ayon sa itong taong ito, mula noon, gumaling na siya at hanggang ngayon, buhay pa siya. So, hindi siya namatay. Napakagandang kwento. Napakagandang pakinggan dahil ang mga taong ito na mamamatay na sana, nagkaroon sila ng chance na mapa-extend pa ang kanilang buhay. Napakasaya isipin. Okay, so tuloy pa natin. Mayroon pa tayong mga ibang video para talaga mabigyan tayo ng liwanag na ang cancer o anumang mga sakit yan, kayang-kaya po. Hindi sa pamagitan ng drugs, nakita po natin, paulit-ulit na binabanggit ng mga tao na mahabang panahon sila nagtitake ng drugs for maintenance lang, hindi naman sila gumaling. Pero nung ginamitan ng mga halamang gamot, yung herbal medicine ito, lalo na itong tinatawag na Ganoderma, gumaling sila. Okay, tuloy natin.
And the other effect of Ganoderma is this anti-cancer effect. And Japan, they have discovered this in Japan. And Japan is the only country which has declared Ganoderma as an anti-cancer drug. The federal law there in Japan, the drug authorities have said that it is an anti-cancer drug. No other country has declared that. And it can be given to any form of treatment, and the polysaccharide fraction has got the highest effect of this anti-cancer drug, property. And all of you know that cancer is a very deadly disease. It's a death warrant. If somebody, said to have a cancer, diagnosed to have a cancer, it's a death warrant. But at the same time, you should understand that there are certain cancers which can be totally cured. There are certain cancers which can be controlled for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. I can give examples. Prostatic cancer, colonic cancer, breast cancer, some of the leukemias, lymphatic cancers. They have an excellent remission. And my testimonial, my first testimonial was in cancer, a patient suffering from leukemia, monocytic leukemia. It happened in 1999. And Dr. Clarence was giving all this information. So at that point of time when he was narrating all his research work, I thought he is trying to fool me. காதுல பூ சுத்துறான்னு நினைச்சேன். இல்லைன்னா காது குத்துறான்னு சொல்றாங்க இல்லையா? I never believed about Ganoderma. And he gave so much of research material. எல்லாத்தையும் எடுத்து பக்கத்துல வச்சிட்டேன். Because I was so busy. I get out around 7:30 in the morning and come back around 10 o'clock in the night. Where is the time to read all those things? That point of time only, one of my very close friend, my classmate, my roommate, who is practicing near my house, about 6 kilometers from my house, Velacheri, in Chennai, he called me and said that, he calls me Anna. Actually, he is older than me. And I call him Anna. So, he said that in the mari patient irukkranga, avangalukku blood cancer, monocytic leukemia, proved in Adayar Cancer Institute. She was in very bad state. She was bleeding all over, like, menstruating every day. You can see that, how difficult it is. Bleeding from the nose, from the ears, from the mouth. And she was, ஒரு இட்லி கூட சாப்பிட முடியல, கொஞ்ச தூரம் கூட நடக்க முடியல. That's a state, her pathetic state. And when he told me that, what can be done, asked me what can be done, I said, it looks like a very advanced stage. That's what the doctors have said in Adayar Cancer Institute, that she will live only for 2 weeks. The disease has progressed and muttana stage poichu 2 varam da irupanga. Then I suggested that why can't they at least try the bone marrow transplant. That's one of the accepted treatment modalities for blood cancer. அது சிஎம்சி வெள்ளூர்ல தான் பண்ணுவாங்க, வேற எங்கேயும் பண்றதில்ல. That too only 30% success rate, and the money what you have to spend maybe around 10 lakhs, 8 lakhs, 10 lakhs. The patient was very poor, and that point of time only suddenly it struck me. I said, அண்ணா இந்த மாதிரி ஆர்ஜிஜிஎல் டாக்டர் ரத்னா ஏதோ சொல்றாங்களே, அது என்ன தெரியல, அதை கொடுத்து பாருங்களேன். Then that's a mere an accident, that I told them and told him, and he said, where can it be got? So I said, we have some samples only left by Clarence. That time Clarence was busy, looking for a place for DXN, this T Nagar, the office now. That to one portion only, I think it was initially we took it for rent. And he was doing something, trying to sort of, decorating that and furnishing that and all those things. It was in 99 October, November. Only in 2010 April the business started in Chennai. And I took the products and gave it to my friend, and I asked him to give the products to RGGL to the patient. And she happened to be Tangaraj's patient right from the childhood. So she believed like God, விஷத்தை கொடுத்தா கூட சாப்பிடுவாங்க, அந்த மாதிரி பேஷண்ட் அவங்க. She was 25 years, just 25 years, Rajiniன்னு பேர், 25 years. And நான் நிச்சயமா நம்பின 2 வாரத்துல அவங்க இறந்துருவாங்கன்னு சொல்லு. I believe that she will die. I was sure that she will die within 2 weeks. But something, a miracle happened. That is why, the Ganoderma is called as a miracle herb. The patient called after 2 weeks to Dr. Thangaraj and said that, Doctor, ipo koncham paravalla. I am able to walk up to the toilet. I am able to take 1 idli. And my bleeding has considerably come down. Then immediately, he called me. He was so excited. He called me and so I said, okay, let her go for a routine test and check whether the parameters are getting better at blood counts and other, the parameters. And to our surprise, the parameters were becoming better. And within 3 months, she was able to become near normal. And after 4, 5, 6 months, she was able to go to work. And that made me think, there's something, very powerful in this, that what Dr. Clarence has given is true. And then I went through the whole literature, and then, of course, I didn't have time. I took everything to Dr. Thangaraj, gave it everything, and asked him to read. You read and tell me.
Yung nag-lecture po ay si Dr. Rajan. Siya po ay isang cardiologist. Siya ay nagle-lecture dahil nga siya ay nakapag-research na dito sa Ganoderma na to. At ayon sa kanyang experience, mayroon ngang nangyari sa kanilang patients na itong ang nagkakaroon ng isang babae, may nagkasakit din ng leukemia. At sabi nila, within 2 weeks, mamamatay na. Kasi nagdudugo na, nagbe-bleeding na, lumalabas na yung dugo sa ilong, sa tainga, nagbe-bleeding na. At kaya sabi nila, mamamatay na itong babaeng ito. 25 years old, babae. So, sabi, nagkukonsulta sila sa bawat isa, mga doktor sila, at sabing ganun, ano bang gagawin? Ano bang gagawin natin dito? At wala na silang maisip na pinakamabisa. At dahil mayroon nga silang naringan doon na itong isang doktor din doon ay nakagamit na din ng umpisa rin na nagre-research patungkol sa Ganoderma, ay sabi, subukan natin itong Ganoderma. May sample daw na natira doon, subukan. Ay baka sakali lang, patamba na lang. At nagtaka sila after 2 weeks dahil siyempre mamamatay na yung babae. Chinecheck kung ano nang nangyari sa within 2 weeks. At namangha sila dahil after that, ang sabi ay nakakatayo at nakakalakad na at pwede nang sumubo, pwede nang kumain. Okay, after 2 weeks yun. At patuloy ang pag-check ng parameters, yung kanang check-up ng babae hanggang, ayon dito sa kwento ni Dr. Rajan, after 3 months, halos normal na yung babae sa kanyang kalagayan. And then after 6 months, bumalik na sa trabaho. Kita mo yan. Kaya yun ang sinasabi na itong Ganoderma na ito ay tinatawag nga na miracle. May gamot ng ganon katindi na yung sa leukemia na yan, mayroon bang gamot na magtanong ka sa mga doktor kung anong, ito nga, mga doktor nga ito, si Rajan nga, cardiologist, wala nga din siyang masabing may recommend na gamot. Namangha na lang siya dito sa Ganoderma. Kasi, alam mo naman, sabi niya, nung pinapresent sa kanya itong Ganoderma na ito, para bang niloloko lang siya. Doon. Alam mo naman, yung mga doktor, hindi madaling, hindi madaling papaniwalain yan kahit anong gawin mo. Dahil pag sinabi mong gamot yan, ay kailangan idaan mo na yan sa sa clinical trial, kailangan mahabaan pa yan. Pero itong pagkakataon na ito, wala nang silang magawa. At ito ay itong emergency na ito, mamamatay na itong tao na ito. At inamangha nga sila nitong time na ito dahil mamamatay na, imbis mamatay na nag-improve at ang ginamit nila itong ang Ganoderma. So napakasaya isipin. Kaya ito ngayon mga kaibigan, ito ay sana makarating sa ating Pangulo, Dati naman akong sumusulat doon, I will try siguro kasi o kaya ipadaan natin kay Senator Bongo sana makatulong tayo ng mga ganitong information. At hindi lang para sa kanya, para din sa iba. Lalo na yung mga may pera na gustong humaba ang buhay. Alam naman natin na yung mga gamot na mga sakit na ito ay tabagan nila mga sakit ng mayaman. Kaya kailangan mga milyon dito kapag may mga sakit ng milyon. Pero hindi naman gumagaling. Wala, hanggang namatay din yung mga ibang may sakit ng mga cancer nga. So ngayon, itong gamot na ito, Robin, ayon sa mga testimonya at dito din sa aming pamilya, ito hindi na rin kami nagdidepende ng mga drugs na yan. Wala na, hindi na kami nagdidepende sa drugs. Everyday kailangan maging healthy kami. Ang aming ginagamit o ang aming lifestyle ay iwas lang sa mga masamang pagkain, bawas-bawas din ng mga matataba, laging may gulay. At yun nga, pag may mga sakit kami, ito na lang ang aming gagamiting mga panggamot namin, itong mga herbal na ito, itong Ganoderma, itong cordyceps, itong mga ginagamit namin, at mayroon kaming tea na mga herbal din. So, yun mga kababayan, iparating natin ito sa ating Pangulo sana, at yung iba nga na gusto ring maging malusog, hindi itong Ganoderma, itong mga herbal plants na ito, hindi lang ito para sa may sakit, para din ito sa mga walang sakit na gusto maging malakas ang immune system. So yan po mga kababayan, kung kayo ay magtatanong kung ano bang ating kakayanan, ako ay isang engineer, at kaya ang ating mga topic dito sa ating channel na ito ay number 1, yung mga innovation. Ako ay innovator, at ako din naman ay researcher ng patungkol sa kalusugan. Kaya ito ang aking binahagi sa inyo patungkol sa kaalaman at para sa ating application sa ating sarili. At ganoon din naman topic din natin ang patungkol sa entrepreneur at mga ibang topic patungkol din naman sa mga trending na mga current issues na nangyayari sa ating bayan. Salamat po.